Have you ever wondered about the very beginning? Not just of humanity, but of the world as we know it. Today, we're journeying back in time to a world untouched, a world waiting for life. This is the story of how it all began when the heavens and the earth were first created. Picture this: a world without a single shrub, not one plant pushing through the soil. The ground was bare because there was no rain and no one to cultivate it. But even then, life was stirring. Streams bubbled up from deep within the earth, blanketing the ground with life-giving water. It was a canvas, perfectly prepared. Into this pristine world, the Lord God stepped in to create something truly special. He reached down, took a handful of dust from the ground, and from it, he formed a man. But this was just a form, a sculpture of dust. The miraculous part came next. He leaned in and breathed the breath of life into the man's nostrils. In that single moment, the dust sculpture became a living, breathing being. The man was alive. But where would this new man live? God had a plan for that too. In a special place to the east, he planted a garden called Eden. This wasn't just any garden. It was a paradise. He placed the man he had formed right in the middle of this beautiful sanctuary. Imagine trees of every kind, bursting from the ground, not just any trees, but trees that were stunning to look at and filled with delicious food. And in the very heart of the garden stood two magnificent trees: the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A powerful river flowed out of Eden, watering this entire paradise before splitting into 4 separate headwaters. The first river was named the Pipe. It meandered through a land called Havilah, a land rich with treasures. The gold there was said to be of the finest quality, and it was also home to precious aromatic resin and beautiful onyx stone. The second river was the Gihon, which flowed through the entire land of Cush. The third river was the mighty Tigris, running along the eastern side of a place called Ashur. And the fourth river was the well-known Euphrates. These 4 rivers, born from one source in Eden, spread out to nourish the ancient world. So, the man was in this perfect garden. What was his purpose? The Lord God gave him a job. He was to work the garden and take care of it, to be a steward of this incredible creation. Along with this responsibility came a very important instruction. God told him, "You can eat from any tree in this garden. Enjoy it all. It's yours." But there was one exception. You must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The day you eat from it, you will surely die. It was a simple rule, but one with profound consequences. As the man went about his days in Eden, naming the animals and tending the garden, God observed him and said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him." Think about that for a moment. Even in a perfect paradise, companionship was essential. We are made for connection. So, God brought all the creatures he had made to the man. All the wild animals, all the birds of the sky. He presented them one by one, and the man, in his wisdom, gave each one a name. Whatever he called them, that became their name forever. He named the livestock, the soaring eagles, the powerful lions. Yet, as he went through all the creatures of the earth, a suitable partner, a true companion for him, was not found among them. This led to the next incredible act of creation. The Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep, deep sleep. While he was completely unconscious, God took one of his ribs. He then carefully closed up the man's side, leaving no scar. From that single rib, from the very side of the man, God fashioned a woman. He then brought her to the man, who was now awake. When the man saw her, his response was pure poetry, a cry of recognition and joy. He said, "This is it. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." He immediately understood their connection. He declared, "She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man." This ancient story gives us a beautiful picture of unity and partnership. The narrative then explains a timeless truth. This is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife. and the two become one flesh. Their bond is meant to be that deep, a merging of two lives into a single, shared journey. And in this perfect beginning, in the Garden of Eden, the man and his wife were both naked. But there was no awkwardness, no embarrassment. They felt no shame. Their innocence was complete. Their relationship pure, living in perfect harmony with each other and with their Creator in the paradise He had made for them. Now, the serpent was more cunning than any wild animal the Lord God had made. It approached the woman and asked, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman replied to the serpent, "We can eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden, and you must not even touch it, or you will die." "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The woman looked at the tree. She saw that its fruit was good for food and pleasing to the eye. It was also desirable for gaining wisdom. So she took some of the fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened. They realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Later, in the cool of the day, the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden. They hid from the Lord God among the trees. But the Lord God called out to the man, "Where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." And God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman replied, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." So the Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." To the woman, he said, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam, he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return." Adam named his wife Eve, because she would become the mother of all the living. The Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. And the Lord God said, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever." So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life.
Thank you for watching. God bless you.